Hi, ma'am. Morning. Yeah, today we are going to start about in a additive manufacturing in the medical arena. We're going to start some few videos and where we require the insights of your knowledge and your experience in that. So, in the starting, just I want to ask you one question. What is the meaning of like in a 3D printing in your own words? Like, because I want to hear it from a surgeon's point of view. What is in a 3D model?
So 3D printing, or also known as additive manufacturing or rapid prototyping, basically means depositing layer by layer. This is from what I understand a little bit of engineering, layer by layer of any particular material to form a particular model, which is based on the CAD image of that, maybe the bony model or the soft tissue model that we do from a digital image.
Just I want to ask you one question. If in case of a 3D printed medical model, so what will be the scenario? Can you explain what 3D printed medical model?
So 3D printed medical models can be used in, first of all, like an educational model to explain to our patient where they're able to visualize their own jaw or their own medical structure in front of them, where they're able to see the deformity and understand what the problem is. So they're able to make a choice about their surgery much more easily. The second thing we can also do is like use it like a surgical model, where we can perform the surgery on that 3D printed model and use that also to understand what is the anatomical problems or anatomical variations in each patient, because each patient is different from the other. So what are the various anatomical variations that we see can be visualized on that. It is also used actually to make surgical guides. Okay, we use these 3D printed models for making the mock surgery itself. We can use different types of surgical guides. Another very important use of 3D printed models also is for adaptation of various implants. Like let's say we are putting a plate.
Yes.
Where we use different varieties of plates. These plates generally come in different sizes, and to customize it to the patient, we can actually adapt it to the patient's anatomy before the surgery, because it saves a lot of time during the surgical procedure also.
Yes. So okay, man, if I want to dig down into the next level in case of oral and maxillofacial surgeries. So for what kind of surgeries, these medical models are helpful, and what will be the role of these models in this? Especially if now we are talking about an oral and maxillofacial region. Like a brief overview,
So the best part about oral and maxillofacial region is actually, the 3D printed models are very useful in case of oral and maxillofacial surgery, because most of our surgical procedures are done on the bone.
Yes.
Okay, and it is very easy to replicate a 3D model of the bone, and this can be used for the patient's surgery very easily. So different types of surgical procedures, especially when we talk about cosmetic procedures like orthognathic surgery, where we make different types of surgical guides.
Yep.
The reason why these guides are so important actually is that these guides actually help to replicate. We do the virtual surgery using the patient's digital image.
Yes.
And that same surgery actually can be replicated in the patients during the operation theater while we are doing the surgery, because we are able to transfer that surgery with the help of a guide. So the accuracy and the predictability of your surgery actually increases. It is a much better procedure to do, where generally we are doing it just like an estimation. Okay, I think 3 millimeters here or there should be all right.
Yes.
With the help of a surgical guide, we don't need to imagine anything. We have already planned it, and exactly the same thing is replicated on the surgical. Other than this, we also use it for different pathologies, where we have, let's say, various cysts or tumors, where we need to cut a part of the jaw and resections of jaws are done. In those cases also, use of 3D printed models is very, very essential and really helps a lot. So it helps the surgeon not only in the pre-surgical planning stage, but also during the surgery also it helps the surgeon a lot.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So just from your conversation, I got a small doubt. So without surgery, here in a 2 to 3 mm, it may be going this side or that side, than the anticipated one. So for example, if we are using this 3D printed surgical guides or templates, So in this case, you say that it will becoming a more precise. So just a small information I want to draw from here, man. So till now, for how many surgeries you might have been used these 3D printed models or in a templates or in a guides, and what was the your experience, because you are a surgeon from more than 25 years. So I think from you have started using this from the last 5 or 10 years. So what is your experience before and after? Can you focus on that?
I have been using 3D printing for my surgical cases for the last 5 to 6 years actually. Very different types of surgeries where we have used many innovative methods by which we can improve our surgical technique. I think conventionally when we were doing surgery, especially I find it useful in case of cosmetic procedures. Because those 2-3 millimeters actually make a lot of difference in exact position. If you want the chin in a particular position, those 2-3 millimeters of change in the patient, ultimately they really feel the difference. If it is done cosmetically the right way with exact precision, it makes a lot of difference actually to our surgical.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
Difference.
But just here, one more information just I want to draw it is what is the importance of a mock surgical model? Because mock surgical model typically we will be making out of an FDM model or thing which is of a very low cost one. So what is the impact of this pre-planning model or a mock model in your surgical procedure?
Earlier when we used to do mock surgeries, actually we used to do it on the patient cast, which does not give as much accuracy as it gives in a FDM model. FDM model, because first of all the cost is less, so we can actually use it to cut it. We can make multiple models to help the residents to understand, or even for us also, the surgeon who is performing the surgery. The mock surgery gives you an actual feel of the surgery itself.
Okay.
How you're going to cut the bone, where exactly you're going to be going, and how deep the instrument goes inside, understanding the anatomy or the uniqueness of the anatomy of each patient. Now, I think that makes a lot of difference actually in the surgical procedure.
And one more thing, about an adaptation of plates or these kind of things. So if you are adapting a plate on a pre-planning model, so how best it will be going to fit into a patient at the time of a surgery, or whether this is helpful, or you want to play again, you want to make any modifications, or this perfectly fine, how this is which is going to happen?
Why do we need to adapt a plate? First of all, that is the main thing. So patient's anatomy is very unique. You cannot use one straight plate which will fit every patient.
Yes.
So each patient's anatomy is different, and the contour of the bone makes a lot of difference. And the passive adaptation of any plate onto that contour of the bone is very important, because that is what holds the bone together ultimately, especially in cases of fractures or even various osteotomies where we have cut the bone to move it or align it in different positions. That anatomical variation and how the bone plate adapts to the bone makes a lot of difference on the fixation aspect. Now, to do this, actually, when we are doing it inside in the surgical room, when we do it on the patient, and we are not able to get an accuracy most of the time because of the bleeding and all those things which are there, the anesthetic considerations, the soft tissue which is present there. Sometimes you're not able to get a perfect adaptation. So doing the whole adaptation pre-operatively on the patient's FDM model, because this is a direct replica of the patient's jaw itself, and we are able to move it to the position that we want it to. If you're doing an osteotomy and moving the bone to a particular position, in that new position we are able to adapt the bone plates. And once that is done, usually hardly maybe 5-10% variation may be there sometimes, and that adapted plate actually acts as a guide by itself to show that this is the new position. If your plate is adapted well, that means your position of the bone also is correct. Okay, so this also helps in a way, especially during osteotomies, where you're moving the jaw bone to a new position. Especially in case of fractures and things like that, it helps because it reduces your surgical time to a large extent. Maybe a very minor changes, if at all required, you can do it intraoperatively, which is quite acceptable actually.
I want to ask you one question. Now when we are converting from this CT data into a 3D CAD model and from there to FDM model, here we are losing some of an accuracy. So it may be typically from 0.5 mm to 1 mm plus or minus 1 mm. So what is the role of this accuracy levels, especially in case of a surgical procedure?
Yeah, so some amount of data is definitely lost, especially doing 3D reconstructions. Also depends on the clarity of the CT scan actually. Whether if we take a 256 slice CT, if we are able to get thinner slices of a CT scan,
Yes.
we are able to get a much more accurate image of the
Yes.
patient, and
Yes.
lesser amount of data is lost in between each slice actually. So in the reconstruction, it gives a better image. I think the CT scan directly shows as the FDM model. So based on the clarity of your CT scan, so that's why it's very important to have a very good quality CT scan when you're making an FDM model, because everything depends on that. Your CAD data from your CT scan will replicate into your STL model. The same thing will show on your virtual as well as on the FDM model itself.
Yes.
But yes, some amount of 0.5 to 1% of variation is still acceptable within our surgical limits. It should not harm the patient very much,
Okay.
because we will take that into consideration when we are doing the surgical procedure also.
Yeah, thank you, madam. And when we are coming to surgical templates, so guided surgery or templates. So what is the viewpoint with respect to the additive manufacturing in case of oral and maxillofacial surgery, madam? When we are coming to guided
So
surgery.
I think guided templates play a very big role. Okay, not only in simple surgeries which we do generally. We've been routinely doing a lot of these procedures. Nowadays, lot of surgical templates are coming in even for simple procedures, especially for use in by a novice surgeon, by a newer surgeon. They are able to do a surgery much more confidently, because the template gives them, acts like a guide actually, and helps them to do the osteotomy much more confidently without harming any of the anatomical structures, because the guides are fabricated in a way that they do not harm any of the vital structures based on your virtual surgical planning which you have done pre-operatively itself. So the accuracy, precision, as well as the confidence of the surgeon also increases. The surgical time also is much less, because you have already planned it and you're just directly replicating it into the patient.
Thank you, madam.